what really attracted me to Krishna consciousness, I'm talking about in the early 80s when I got attracted to the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So what really motivated me was that, from childhood, I have been very inquisitive about the objectives or the purpose of this human existence. I remember as a teenager, I was reading, literatures that have to do with what is it that makes someone what he is. I was reading some literatures on metaphysics because I wanted to really know, especially one of the intrigues, one of the real stimulators that motivated me to searching was, I see people die, and I was wanting to know where do the dead go. As a child, I was actually reading, and my father knew about that I was investigating, and he used to be a little bit weary about me because he felt I was perhaps too young to, to be inquisitive to that degree. So I was actually reading things on metaphysics, like with some esoteric institutions. And I remember when I finished my high school, my mother called me one day and said, "You ask so many questions. Now you are matured. Go into the world and search answers to your questions." So when I met devotees, because I was still inquisitive about, what is it that makes a person what he is? In other words, this body, is it the be all and end all? Because I've seen people die, and I was wondering, it's going to happen to me one day. I better have to know where do they go? But I had no vivid answers from anyone, from my church, because I come from a Christian background, from my church leaders, from parents, from relatives, from friends. I had no vivid answer to that. But even when I started reading some literatures from the Orient, there was no real vivid answer to my probes in life. So in the process of still investigating, still inquiring, I met devotees of Krishna consciousness. I got some literature from them, and when I read that literature, I think it's coming. Title of that literature is Coming Back, and I took it home. And that time I was working as a young man. I was working with the River State Judiciary in Port Harcourt, in Nigeria. And so I took the literature to my house, and I spent the whole night reading it. I didn't waste any time. And then, this little book answered all of the questions that were actually intriguing to me in my life. So immediately I just arranged that I had to figure out how to get more literatures from these guys. And then that motivated me to go to the temple. And they told me they have programs on Sunday. So the day I went there, I bought some literatures, more literatures. And then they invited me for the Sunday feast. So I went there and listened to the first Sunday class that was delivered by the temple president of Port Harcourt. I'm talking about 1983 in December. So when I heard all of this stuff from the guy, so I actually became more even intrigued to read more. So I was like using any extra time I have, any spare time I have, for reading this literature. So eventually, I really established within my mind that yes, this is what I'm looking for. These books are really giving me all the answers that I've been probing, questions I've been probing. The books are giving me all the answers to my probes. So I decided I have to really spend time to investigate more about these teachings. So I remember in February, I got the first literature in December in 1983. And then in February 1984, I was on my annual leave. And so I decided to go to spend 2 weeks at the temple. And when I was in temple, I was going out with devotees on I'm preaching Harinam and Sankirtan. And so I really became more enthused and became more desperate in taking up the process. And so when my leave period was expired, so I decided there's no need to go back to work. I just have to be full-time priest and really take this up as my life and soul. And that's what basically attracted me to Krishna consciousness. And the devotees, they were very lovingly caring. And I remember when I went there, the temple president, I mean, he was so much lovingly disposed to me, and I mean, I didn't really want to leave because, you know, he was so, he was treating me as if, you know, I'm his blood brother. Okay, so that really intrigued me so much. It added more impetus to my desire to explore, you know, the world of the unknown or higher knowledge. And based on these circumstances, I just resolved that, yeah, I think this is worth a while. I should spend time to be able to investigate these teachings more and more. And that's how I actually voluntarily just stopped working and decided to be a full-time priest in the temple.